Hello everyone, my name is Psycho, and today I'm going to be showing the results of all my underling research and giving my review of the equippables. I waited until the new lunar year update so that I could include the two new equippables. And if you saw my episode 7 videos, Underling Math and Best Food to Craft, you saw how I calculated underling coin production per hour. Since the equips changed, these videos are no longer accurate. And if you saw my earlier videos where I found the oak tree and mining ore spawn patterns, those too are now outdated. So yeah, all my previous hours of work to uncover what underlings did is undone with update 6. But hey, that's my problem. And our problem today is how do they work now? So let's revisit tree underlings. First oak now spawns multi-block wide. It spawns anywhere within a 12 by 12 area. And it will even overlap existing blocks. So next I took a look at mining underlings. Here are two coal underlings. The ores spawn similar to trees, randomly anywhere within an 11 by 13 area. I did some time tests with the equipments. In doing so, I found that they collected more without the equipment than before the update. For instance, before they averaged 8 ore per minute, and now it's about 12, about 50% increase. I'll get to the equippables after I finish telling you about the farming underlings. So I tested each one same as before using 10 crops, and yes, they have all changed. Wheat and carrots were 4 seconds per crop, and they are now 1.2. Tomato is now 2 seconds, corn and strawberry 3 seconds, potatoes, mushrooms, watermelon, and pumpkins are 4 seconds per crop. And if you saw my math video, you may remember lower processing times means more crops are needed to keep underlings working continuously. Before, watermelons needed 44 crops. Now, they need 75. This is all not factoring equippables. So here's the problem. I can't build a 75 crop farm for my watermelon underlings. Biggest I can do is 73. By the way, I believe carrots or tomatoes may need like 149. The white mushrooms only need 30 crops to max them out. Before you saw underlings, you saw how underlings only process crops in a 5x5 square. Well, they can process one layer below and above their anchor point. Let me show you how to build it. You do a layer of 5x5 dirt, plant the seeds. Now, I place blocks here and go 2 up. Then I do another 5x5, but make the center block different. I use stone brick to mark the underling anchor point. Plant the seeds. Now I build up 2 more blocks, make another layer that's 5x5, but this time I leave the center open. This will allow you to place the underling, and you'll have to jump down to access the anchor. Finally, remove out the side blocks from the bottom going up. If you remove these blocks going top to bottom, the underling might jump down onto the blocks, causing problems. So, if I calculated my watermelon underlings working continuously on a 75 seed farm, the coin production would be a little over 112,000 coins per hour. That is way up from the 67,000 it was before. Watermelon is still the crop to grow, even with all the changes. So now let's talk about equippables. The two new equippables are the amplifier and quick strike. The amplifier you can get from ores, and the quick strike comes from foods under the seed collection. So what I did was I divided up the 8 equippables into 3 categories: mining/tree, farming, and then all. What I'm going to do is use a tier marking system going from diamond all the way down to dirt, showing their worth. So first I'm going to start with the tree and mining equips. Pulverizer. In testing, this showed no significant effect on the amount of resources they gathered, like 0. This increased damage does nothing. So I'm putting it down in dirt. Next was quick strike. Increased damage did nothing. Speed of damage did nothing. So I'm giving it a dirt. Finally, haste boots. Here, I still found it did no significant improvement in the amount of resources they collected. Haste boots I would be putting under dirt for the same reason I put the other two, is it had no effect on the amount of resources the underlings gathered. I am going to move it to copper just because when a resource spawned far away, was able to get there faster to mine it. That's the only thing keeping it from being useless dirt. So now for the farming equips. The accelerator, on its own, I would give it iron. Basically, on its own, only the mushroom underling could actually use it because the farm size was only 30. So you had the potential to continually max out the mushroom underling and keep him busy. But if you're really trying to go for max coin production, you're going to be doing watermelon. So the accelerator's not going to help you because you can't build a farm big enough when they move at normal speed. Now, because of the amplifier, and I'll explain that in a minute, this will move up to gold. Again, if it's paired with an amplifier. If you could build big enough farms, this would probably go to diamond, but we'll see how that plays out in the future. As for the amplifier, I'm going to give it a gold as well. What the amplifier does, instead of it mining in a 5x5 area, the underling will now go in a 7x7 area. Have one equipped to my pumpkin farmer. So he is able to grow out completely. And if you look in here, you will see my watermelon underling here does not have my other amplifier. And so they are only working in a 5x5 area. The bigger farms are now possible for the two underlings in which you can add these equips. Again, on its own, it's a gold, but it needs an accelerator to really take advantage of the extra farm area. I mean, it's real close to diamond. Now for the universal equip. Start with the auto seller. This one I am putting at dirt. Do not use it if it has not been fixed. Currently it's bugged, and the underling will sell both the crop and the seed before replanting. I had one on a pumpkin farmer and basically lost all of my pumpkin seeds. If something like this happens to you, as it did me, go over to Discord and under bugs, submit it, and one of the moderators or developers should be able to help you out. They were able to give me back my pumpkin seeds, but it was really frustrating in the beginning. Also, it's the one equipable that you must spend Robux on, and honestly, you're better off processing your stuff and selling it for more coins anyway. Book of Wisdom. For this one, I'm going to put under Cobalt. Hey, this is great for gaining experience and your masteries under farming. Like the pumpkin, it's slowly growing up and I don't have to worry about it. Even for my watermelon, as you can see, I've been running this for a little bit, and I say a little bit, I've been running this for a few days and it's going up. As you saw, it just did to 252. It's a slow process, but after the pumpkin and watermelon blocks are obtained, this thing becomes useless. I mean, what would I use it for? I don't need any more experience gained from them. I mean, maybe it'll help out with the red potatoes in getting the achievement. I'd have to test that out and see, but for right now, I mean, even after you did that, after some time, it's going to become useless. And finally, the Plentifier. This one gives basically the looting enchantment, which is 50% of the time it will give you an extra collected resource. Whether it be a crop, tree, or mining underling, they will get 50% more resources. And I did find this to work exactly like that when I was testing out the coal underlings. For that reason, I give that a diamond. I mean, it's the only one I found useful on every single underling. So those are my rankings. Plentifier, definitely use. The accelerator and amplifier are gold. If you use them together, they work great. Book of Wisdom, useful for probably most of us for a while, but eventually it's not unless they start adding more stuff to the masteries. Haste boots are just barely above useless, as is the pulverizer, the quick strike, and auto seller. Now the auto seller might be copper, but I mean, really, for the Robux you spend on it, just leave it in dirt. For equippables, the problem with the miners and the trees is that none of these affect the spawn rate of the resource. You see these copper guys working? Those spawn, now they wait. There's nothing to affect that. And as long as that remains constant, it doesn't matter how much damage they do or how quick they do the damage to that, they just keep spawning. And the little bit that those do affect them don't do enough to make a significant improvement to how fast those respawn. Because as you see, he mined his second, and then they respawn at the same time, even though one guy did it first. Increasing the damage, how fast they process those isn't going to change anything. So my overall feelings on the recent underling changes, is like it's barely neutral. There are positives, like faster resource spawns. Those coals do spawn faster than they used to, increasing them by like 50%. The quicker crop processing allows them to actually be performing better, but that's negated by the negatives in that with the reduced farming underling range, I cannot build crop farms to keep the underlings at max production. The equippables can help restore some of that, but you're limited on how many you can get per account. Plentifiers, which are great, I can only get 2. I'd have to make another account, level a guy up, and then get 2 more over. There's 28 underlings, and each one of these is only 2. To me, this feels like we are in a transition period with the underling changes, and I'm holding back expressing my true negative feelings until I see the final result. I'm remaining hopeful that this all gets worked out for the best and soon. So please like and subscribe and comment how you feel about all this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!